a former American ambassador has triggered a storm with a statement that many Indians have found deeply offensive. Carla, who served as the United States ambassador to Denmark during Donald Trump's first term, recently appeared on Steve Bannon's show and made a sweeping claim about Indians and American society. According to reports, Sands suggested that Americans come from a high-trust society, follow the Ten Commandments, and therefore typically do not have fraud. She contrasted this with Indians, effectively implying that corruption and fraud are somehow cultural characteristics of Indians. Now think about that for a moment. More than 1.4 billion Indians, thousands of years of civilization, millions of professionals, entrepreneurs, scientists, doctors, engineers, teachers, soldiers, and public servants. And a former diplomat reduces all of them to a stereotype. The problem is not merely that the statement is offensive, the problem is that it is factually weak. America itself has witnessed some of the biggest corporate frauds in modern history, from Enron to Bernie Madoff, from the 2008 financial crisis to multiple insider trading scandals. Every society has corruption, every society has fraud. The question is not whether fraud exists, the question is how institutions deal with it. To suggest that one nation possesses virtue while another possesses corruption is not analysis. It is prejudice dressed up as cultural commentary. What makes the remark even more surprising is the timing. Indian Americans today are among the most successful immigrant communities in the United States. A recent study found that immigrants from India have founded more American billion-dollar startups than immigrants from any other country. Indian origin entrepreneurs have been behind 96 American unicorn companies, more than founders from Israel, China, Britain, or Canada. These are not people operating on the margins of American society. They are helping build America's future. They create jobs, they pay taxes, they lead technology companies, they drive innovation. Many arrived in America through education, hard work, and professional excellence. Yet, despite these contributions, sections of the political discourse in the United States are increasingly targeting immigrants, particularly skilled immigrants from countries like India. The debate is often framed around jobs, visas, and economic competition. But sometimes it spills into something more troubling: cultural stereotyping. History teaches us that when economic anxieties rise, immigrants often become convenient targets. The language changes, the accents change, the communities change, but the pattern remains remarkably similar. What's also worth noting is that Carla was not speaking as a random social media commentator. She is a former ambassador. Diplomats are expected to build bridges between nations, not reinforce stereotypes about entire populations. India and the United States today share one of the most important strategic relationships in the world. The two countries cooperate on technology, defense, trade, energy, and security. Millions of families have connections that span both countries. At such a time, comments that paint an entire nationality as corrupt do not help anyone. If anything, they reveal more about the speaker's assumptions than about the people being described. There is another irony here. The strength of America has never come from cultural purity. It has come from its ability to attract talent from across the world. Scientists from Europe, entrepreneurs from Asia, innovators from every continent. America became a global powerhouse because it welcomed people who could contribute, regardless of where they were born. That story includes Indians. In fact, it includes many of the very people now being stereotyped. The larger lesson is simple: criticize corruption wherever it exists, demand accountability from governments, question institutions, but never reduce an entire people to a caricature. No country has a monopoly on honesty, and no country has a monopoly on corruption. Nations are judged not by stereotypes, but by the character and achievements of their people. And by that measure, Indians have little to prove to anyone. The question is not whether Indians are corrupt. The question is why, in 2026, influential voices still believe it is acceptable to stereotype an entire civilization. And perhaps that tells us far more about the state of modern political discourse than it does about India. Thank you for watching. If you value independent journalism and sharp analysis, do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join the HW News Network.